Good evening, everybody. We're going to get started here momentarily. I see we have some people joining us, so welcome to the live stream. We'll get started here in about a minute. We'll give it just a little bit longer for people to join us. If you're tuning in, let us know where you're tuning in from. I see there's a few more people joining us. Welcome, welcome. We're going to get started here in about 30 seconds. Just give it another half a minute thereabouts for people to jump on. All right, folks, going to get started with the live stream and video today regarding Tilray Brands earnings tomorrow pre-market. But today is Tuesday, July 25th. Earnings are scheduled for tomorrow, July 26th. Pre-market, there's also going to be a conference call at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, which we'll jump into the full article here in just a moment. But if you're joining the live stream, if you could smash the like, share the video with anybody that might find value, and tick the bell and subscribe, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I post a new video. Let's get started. Let's jump in. So I did want to just kind of go over some of the estimates. We'll do some prep leading into tomorrow. But curious what everybody thinks of the earnings going into tomorrow. Do you think they're going to beat? Do you think they're going to miss? Do you think it's going to be overall positive, overall negative? Still seeing a lot of bearish sentiment and negative, really just negativity all around from the retail space and the MJ space. But with good reason, we know that safe banking might not actually pass. But I think that HHS has a very high chance of passing some sort of reclassification, whether it be Schedule 3. We'll see if it gets rescheduled, descheduled. But I think that's our best catalyst to be looking out for into the end of the year here into the fall. But while we let everybody jump on, I do want to highlight a couple drinks that Tilray is going to be releasing as well. So it's International Hemp Month, and Happy Flower invites you to experience their new revolutionary CBD cocktails. So this is new drinks from Tilray, 25 milligram of CBD and 0% alcohol. I think that was to be expected, but essentially there's strawberry daiquiri, margarita, peach Bellini, and mojito. So looking forward to these ones. And then also, I already tried these, and I think I mentioned it in my news, rapid fire news update on Saturday that they're releasing two new drinks under the Riff brand, Blue Raspberry Ice and Wild Raspberry Lemonade. I've tried both of them. They're really good, actually. If you try those, let me know. And then if you do try these in the future, let me know what you think of these as well. I'll definitely keep everybody posted. We'll do some product reviews as well in the future. But this is the article from Yahoo Finance. So Tilray Brands Inc. to announce it'll be Q4 and the full fiscal year 2023. And if you're wondering about Q4, it doesn't mean actual fourth quarter of the calendar year. Some companies can have different fiscal year ends, so their fourth quarter could fall, in the actual third quarter, right, of the calendar year. So don't get too thrown off by that. And like I said, it will be tomorrow morning pre-market. And we had Alphabet, Microsoft, we're up after hours. And then we have Meta, Boeing, we have Coca-Cola, AT&T. So some big ones there leading into tomorrow. But all eyes will be on Tilray for the MJ space. Not putting too much weight behind Tilray earnings. I mean, it is the de facto leader in the space. But, at the end of the day, we know that there's one good earnings report from Tilray isn't going to ignite a whole new bull market, right? We need a catalyst that's massive, like either safe banking passing, uplisting to the NYSE and the NASDAQ, or HHS coming back with a review, right? So I'm not putting too much weight on this from a sector perspective, but based on the chart, we could easily pop. If we see some beat of the earnings estimates, we'll look at the analyst forecast here in just a moment. But as you can see, they'll be reporting tomorrow, July 26th. I just showed you the earnings whisper here, pre-market, so it will be in the morning. And then the conference call is at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. But yeah, curious to see what everybody thinks. Do you think they're going to beat? These are the estimates. So EPS is forecasted at negative 0.0555 and revenue estimate at 206.76 million. And that's in Canadian dollars. It says here July 27th on investing.com, but it must have just been a glitch. But it is definitely tomorrow morning. So like I said, curious what everybody thinks leading into tomorrow. We'll also take a look at the Tilray chart. There is a weekly bear flag at the moment, but we haven't confirmed it. So we'll take a look at potential for one more leg down on Tilray. And if we get a negative reaction to this earnings, that could easily confirm that bear flag there on the weekly time frame, which we'll look at again in just a moment. But something I want to remind everybody, Tilray Brands completed the accretive acquisition of Hexo Corp, leading the next evolution of Canadian MJ. That was back on June 22nd. So this is for the period ending in May. So we won't actually see a big jump up. So if you've been wondering, like myself, if you've been wondering whether or not we could see a sizable increase in revenue, like I said, I think it's going to be, the next one's going to be in the next earnings report, because that's in May, and then they just completed the acquisition in June. So we should see on the next period, which will be in October, we'll see for the period ending in August, right? So we'll have July and August essentially on there, and maybe a little bit of June. But as we know, Hexo's revenue was going down because they were cutting products that weren't selling. They were getting rid of products that didn't have good margins. They were getting rid of products that just overall weren't good revenue for the company. So they started to really start to clean up the balance sheet, but they were seeing low revenue because not all revenue is good revenue, as we know, right? So they were getting rid of those products that just weren't offering, their way to profitability and helping them on that way to profitability. So yeah, that's something that can be expected for the next earnings. But as you can see, 219 next quarter. So they must be factoring in the Hexo acquisition there, because we had 210 here back on January earnings at the first of the year, and then they had 192. So a far cry off from 210, and then they revised it down to 201, came in at 196, but we did slightly increase from the prior quarter, and then 206.76 million forecasted for tomorrow. And then, like I said, a pretty big jump there, another 13 million into the next quarter. So like I said, we could see that from Hexo on the next quarter. And apologies, it's been a long day. I'm feeling a little tired. I don't know about all you guys and gals, but it's been a long day today. I was over at the Airbnb, and I had a lot going on today, actually. And tomorrow's a jam-packed day for me as well. We also have the Federal Reserve interest rate decision coming in tomorrow. I think they're going to probably increase by a quarter basis points. So that's pretty much the consensus at the moment, but we'll see what tomorrow brings. But all eyes will be on that tomorrow, and then obviously earnings on Tilray, and then Meta after, so Facebook after market close tomorrow. And then there's nothing really following the next day, so that's pretty much the ones to be looking out for. But we'll take a look at the chart here. I see we have close to a couple dozen people on the live stream, so welcome. If you want to put in your comments, if you have any questions, any concerns about the earnings report tomorrow, if you have anything you want to add to the financials, anything that we should look at, anything that I didn't cover, anything that you want me to, just elaborate further on, let me know. But let me know if you think we're going to beat these earnings. Like I said, estimate forecast is 206.76 million Canadian and EPS negative 0.0555. But like I said, not going to see Hexo on this one because it is the period ending in May, and then the acquisition finished in June. So like I said, in August, the period ending in August, so October, we should see that sizable increase. But we'll take a look at the chart, see what the chart's saying, see if we can get some clues leading into tomorrow. We're not really seeing any positive movement lately in the MJ space. We know CGC got a warning for being under $1, CGC at 38 cents, pretty crazy to think about when it was just at $60. Same with Tilray though, but Tilray $1.68, a far cry away from 38 cents. But as we know, Canopy really struggling, and then ACB under 50 cents. So it's probably going to do another reverse split. And then, we're not seeing any favorable, catalysts or news. Nothing's moving the market right now. And like I said, we need something like safe banking, uplisting to the NYSE and the NASDAQ, legalization of medical in the US, or HHS coming back with a reschedule or even descheduling, right? So I think the best chance we have is HHS. But yeah, it's pretty bleak in the market. We got, the S&P 500. What is it, like 2%, not even 2% away from all-time highs, and then MJ's at 52-week lows and new all-time lows. So it's kind of depressing, but at the end of the day, MJ could easily be the best performing asset class and industry over the next couple of years. But yeah, SPY today, we are now less than 2.5% away from all-time highs. So the all-time high, factoring in dividends, 468.78, and we hit a high of 456.74. And I've been calling for that for a while now. I said that we were more than likely going to deviate. We had an inverse head and shoulders here. And then if you take the look at the measured move from the inverse head and shoulders on the monthly time frame, and we move that out here, it's saying that we could hit new all-time highs about 480, right? And here we are getting very, very close to testing all-time highs. And I took the .com fractal. We were following it verbatim pretty much. And then I expected us to deviate because of how corrupt our markets are and how manipulated they are. 110% manipulated. Feds banned themselves. Federal Reserve banned themselves from owning stocks, bonds, crypto up here. And then they didn't ban themselves down here, of course, right? They didn't ban themselves down here because, like I said, the market's corrupt. So back here, we didn't have this trillions of dollars entering the market from the Federal Reserve artificially propping up the market. Price peaked in 2000. RSI peaked in 1996, 4 years later. Price peaked, and then we went to monthly oversold. Same thing pretty much following out here. RSI peaked in 2018, 4 years later. Price peaked in 2022, and we're on our way to monthly oversold. But again, because Congress hadn't been banned yet, where do you think they're going to want to sell? Are they going to want to sell here? Are they going to want to be forced to sell here? Or are they going to want to be... No, that's not going to happen, right? We know that they needed at least close to all-time highs, a retest of all-time highs, or what this monthly inverse head and shoulders is saying is we could potentially see new all-time highs. So they're probably going to want to ban themselves there. And I just did a video on that as well, that there's a bill actually going through Congress right now, market top close bill to ban Congress from owning stocks. So that's circulating through right now through Congress. So just like we expected, right on cue, near all-time highs, Congress getting ready to ban themselves. Look what happened. The Feds banned themselves. We dropped on the S&P 500. We dropped roughly 27%. And imagine what's going to happen when Congress bans themselves from owning stocks. There'll be no reason for them to keep the market up, for the Federal Reserve to prop it up artificially, print trillions and trillions of dollars, right? Money printer go burr, and then just keeps going straight up from here. But again, this is probably going to be one of the worst crashes in market history, not to spread FUD, fear, or anything like that. I'm just being a realist. That's all I am at the end of the day. And markets can go up, down, sideways, and we've been going up for a long time, right? Ever since the lows of March 2020. So I think we could easily, once we do top out here, we could easily pull back 50%. And that's what happened in the .com days too, from the top to the bottom, the .com bubble and then the everything bubble, about 50%. So I would more than likely expect 50%, and it all depends how high we go, right? If we set 480, 500, if we test 500 on SPY, then, if we see 500, then 50% from 500 would put us around, right around that .com fractal that I have there, around 248. So I think that's very possible. And like I said, market is 110% corrupt. I mean, how can lawmakers own stocks? It just doesn't make any sense. They're making laws, right, that benefit themselves. And imagine being the Federal Reserve, knowing that the trillions of dollars are going to enter the market to help, the market from crashing. They could have bought, right? Insider trading at the highest level. If you or I did that, we'd be in jail for the rest of our lives. And then, when they got banned from owning stocks, they probably, they look like heroes, and then they get to sell the absolute top. It's absolute ludicrous. But we did have this cup and handle as well on the S&P 500, and the target there was 455. So we could see some temporary pullback. We could even come back down, test that cup and handle neckline there, and that'd be around 444, and that would definitely be headwinds for the MJ space. But I just wanted to mention that because it is an important day into tomorrow. Tilray on the daily time frame, we do have an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross lining up where we could see some upside, and we do have that gap there at around 232. And then on the bear side, it is still a weekly bull flag potential. So we go from the high to the low, and we'll just make this a little bit bigger for everybody to see. So you go from high to the low with your fib tool. And then if it doesn't get above the 0.32 fib there at $1.93 USD because it's on the NASDAQ, that is a very weak bounce, and it's a potential for a weekly bear flag. So if we get to negate this, if we get over $1.93, then we'll no longer expect another leg down and a weekly bear flag to confirm. And then we'll look for a weekly uptrend to confirm with a higher low and higher high. We still haven't gotten that yet, so we're still bearish at the moment. We're still in a weekly downtrend. Not looking good at all. And we didn't even test the 0.382 fib. It was a very, very weak bounce. And then in order to confirm the bear flag, we need to lose support there at 151. 150 is the low. So if we lose 150, we confirm the bear flag, and you take the measured move from the top of the move, so from the top of the fib to the bottom of the fib, move it out to the 0.32 fib, and then that gives you your measured move. So it says if we do confirm it, if we lose 150 and confirm the weekly bear flag, then we're targeting about $1.11 on Tilray. And that's, again, in USD. But we're nowhere near monthly oversold yet either, which is crazy to think about. Yeah, and we're in a monthly downtrend as well, so it's not looking good at all. Daily downtrend confirmed as well with a high, low, lower high, and lower low. So I guess it's more of a triple bottom actually. 162, 160, yeah, triple bottom there at 162. So 162 is going to be extremely strong support in my opinion. And if we do lose that, that's bad. And then it'll be all about 150. We lose 150, then like I said, we could easily see a move down to around that $1.11 in my opinion. And from current levels, that would mean that we drop another 34%-ish. But again, this is just technical analysis. It's probabilities. It's not a guarantee. We're still a ways away before we see a weekly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross as well. So I'm leaning a little bit bearish leading into tomorrow. And like I said, the S&P 500 definitely due for a cool-off session, would just be healthy consolidation. And that would be headwinds for MJ. So if we get negative results and a down day in the broader market, and we get, if the market responds negatively to the interest rate decision tomorrow, Facebook earnings aren't good, like we could easily see a pretty big move down into tomorrow. But again, it's all about support and resistance. So we'll be looking at 162, the triple bottom there at 162 on the daily time frame. And then after that, it's 150. Lose 150, then we're taking the measured move down to 111, like I said. But it is 2 weekly inside bars in a row at the moment. So you could even, if we lost 162, you could set a short. You could short it. Essentially, I wouldn't recommend shorting anything in the MJ space at this point, but you could short it essentially, and then just down to 150. That's about a 6%. Or if we hit that target of the bear flag, you're looking at about a 30% short, right? But if we break bullish out of this range, so if we break 186, you could look to go long, and that could be a swing trade opportunity of about 40%. So that's just again, this isn't financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Sound like a broken record at this point, but I'm not going to ever tell you to buy, sell, or hold, but that is a nice swing trade opportunity to be looking at. If you're looking for another more conservative swing trade entry, you could wait for a weekly higher low to form and then look to add on the weekly higher low and then set your stop below the low there at 150. That'd be another way to play it. But weekly bear flag, not looking good at the moment. And we did break out of that falling wedge bullish, but it's just a weekly lower high and a weekly downtrend, monthly downtrend, daily downtrend, weekly bear flag, week bounce so far. So charts are saying, we're still extremely bearish at the moment. And we're not expecting anything from HHS into the end of the year. Safe banking kind of losing steam. It's probably going to be another couple months, I think, before we set a bottom. I would say in the next 3 to 6 months, we'll probably hit an absolute bottom and then start a new bull market, in my opinion. But then, the wild card is going to be the S&P 500, the broader market. How are we going to respond? I think MJ will dip, but then it'll recover a lot quicker, and then it could be one of the best performing asset classes over the next few years, because we didn't participate in the everything bubble of 2022 and 2023, right? We did this briefly there into 2021 highs in February, but that was just on hopes of the Dems taking control of, legalizing and when they took control of the Senate, but just false promises, right? False hopes. But on the weekly time frame, we are above the 10-week moving average there at 165, so we can see a weekly candle close over that 165 and 10-week moving average. That would be great. At the end of this week, we did have a bull cross of the MACD here on the weekly, which is great to see on the longer term time frame like the weekly, and the stochastic is bullish as well. So we're looking not too bad here in terms of the weekly time frame macro indicators. But again, weekly downtrend, monthly downtrend, bear flag still on watch, so I'm very cautious. I'm leaning bearish into tomorrow. And like I said, a lot could have to do with the interest rate decision tomorrow of Meta. If we see a down day in the broader market, then that could easily pull us down. And then if we have a big miss or something like that, in terms of analyst estimates, this thing could easily go down 10, 15%, in my opinion. So it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. Curious what everybody thinks. You think it's going to be a bearish reaction, positive reaction? In terms of the weekly moving averages, we have nothing nearby until 279. You can see we haven't gotten above it ever since we started this brutal downturn, right down over 97% from the highs of February 2021. I think it's like 98% now. Just take a quick peek. So yeah, highs of February 2020, just a rough guess. Yeah, it's almost 98% down. So if we can see one, preferably 2 weekly candle closes over that 50 weekly moving average there at 279, I think we could easily be starting a new bull market. And then we got the bear cross out of the way of those. When the shorter term's above the longer term and they cross, that's a bear cross. And then when the shorter term is below the longer term and they cross, that's a bull cross. So we're, like I said, we're probably 3 to 6 months away from seeing these moving averages on the weekly time frame cross bullish as well. So adding more confluence to the fact that we could see more downside leading into the fall, and then potential for HHS review. We know that Biden basically wants to get it done by the end of the year, and he said about a year from the October announcement last year. So that would put us, like I said, somewhere very close into October and November and into the end of the year. And then it's probably going to be at least several weeks, at least a couple of months before we see a golden cross, in my opinion, which would be the 50-day moving average below the 200-day moving average. When they cross, that's a golden cross. Shorter term below the longer term, and when it's the 50-day and the 200-day, that's a golden cross. See what happened last time. Tilray had a golden cross. Price was at around $7.50, and then went to about $67. And then we had a death cross with the 50, the shorter term above the 200-day moving average, the longer term, and then they crossed. That's a death cross. Price was at around $15, and then dropped all the way down to $1.50. So now we're looking for a potential golden cross again, and this time we're way more beaten down than we were the last time the golden cross happened. So we could see even more multiplier effect and upside as a result. And then if we take a look at the MACD, yeah, MACD's looking not too bad. In terms of the daily time frame, we can zoom in a little bit here on the chart. We are bullish on the daily time frame, but it looks to be curling and going the other way as well. So again, I'm gonna have to lean bearish leading into tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be a great reaction. And the market's likely going to be on edge tomorrow as we await the interest rate decision at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, it's going to be interesting what they mentioned on the call. Like, I could easily see this thing dipping as well, like into the morning, maybe pre-market. And then once the conference call starts at 8:30 a.m., maybe something is said on the conference call that sparks some bullish momentum. But as of right now, I think we're more than likely expecting a move down. I know it's probably not what everybody wants to hear, but like I said, I tell you what you want it, not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear, and just being real with you guys and gals, right? This isn't a guarantee. It's just technical analysis, and news can change anything, right? But it's just about probabilities, and the probabilities are saying that we're more than likely expecting some downside. And then in terms of the daily chart today, we did finish with an indecision candle. So, but a bit of a doji, but more so, we closed below the middle of the range today, so a little bit bearish. And then into the end of the day, look at that pretty big waterfall sell-off, and then 5-minute bear flag into the end of the day, confirming. Could see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on the hourly time frame. So yeah, I'm gonna have to lean bearish into tomorrow. But like I said, if we do see this weekly bear flag confirm with a loss of 150 and we target 111, that could very well be our local bottom. And that could be the bottom of this bear market. We could potentially start a new bull market into the end of the year with HHS review in play. I think that's our best bet. All right, so going to jump into the chat here. If there's anything else anybody wants me to take a look in terms of a technical perspective or looking at the chart, let me know. If there's anything else you want me to elaborate on, or if I didn't go over anything specifically, let me know. I think that's all I have to say at the moment. Excuse me, just going to have a drink of water and then we'll jump into the chat. But yeah, let me know what you think about the earnings tomorrow. Is it going to be bullish, bearish? I'll also be on the conference call, so I'll keep everybody posted on that. And I'll do an update video tomorrow on a review of the earnings, so the financials, Q4 and 2023 fiscal. And then I'll probably give an update on the conference call as well. Hello, Rod. Thank you again. Are you looking to add SPXS or not? Yeah, so that's something that I've been adding, and I just a very, very small amount, not a lot amount of capital or anything like that. If you're going to short for a long term, for the longer term, like any more than like a month, I recommend just the S&P 500 short shares. So SPY regular short shares, because there is some with the SPXS, it's a 3x leverage, so there is some risk there, and it kind of degrades over time, and yeah, it's typically not great to hold for a longer period of time. So if you're gonna do anything long term, I would do just regular S&P 500 short shares. But SPXS can be nice to hold for like a week, but I wouldn't recommend any more than a month. And then, yeah, I'll definitely be looking to add some. We're getting close to all-time highs. Usually just adding like every 10% that we go up in the market. And then that's just a hedge for my long-term positions, right? My bullish positions for MJ, my crypto altcoins, my real estate portfolio, all that stuff that I'm bullish on. The SPXS, in theory, if SPY goes down and my SPXS position goes up, I'm in profit there. And then in theory, MJ should go down with the broader market because it's headwinds. And then you can take that profit from your SPXS position and rotate it into even more beaten down MJ. But yeah, I would recommend just regular short shares if you're going to be doing it long term. But I probably won't add SPXS again until we get to all-time highs. A test of all-time highs on the S&P 500. Earnings on a Fed meeting day seems like probably a dump, but as a contrarian, I think we are going to pump. Yeah, I think so too. I think, like you say, it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow, and then markets will probably just be jittery and in limbo into tomorrow morning, and leading into the afternoon, right? So it's going to be an interesting day. Like I said, I think that probably going to lean bearish on this one. But we'll see what happens in the conference call. Interesting that it's coming out in the morning and then the conference call after, right? So we should see the earnings. Actually, let's just Tilray Cedar Company profile. Sometimes it comes out early, so you never know. What's this? That must be... Huh. Yeah, they're like a minute apart, so one must be French, one must be English. Oh. Prospectus supplements, okay. Yeah, let me just... Yeah, okay, so no earnings out yet. So what, yeah, back to my train of thought there. So yeah, the fact that earnings are due in the morning, it's a Fed day, SPY S&P 500 is likely due for some short-term consolidation. That would just be healthy, in my opinion, a healthy pullback. And then we also hit the cup and handle target, right, on the daily time frame on SPY. So yeah, we're more than likely due the target, and then we had some upper wicks forming there. So we're more than likely due for a pullback, and it could even be a sizable one too. Like it could be 3-4%, which is pretty big for SPY. But yeah, back to my line of thinking there. Maybe it's going to be bad, and then they have the conference call right shortly after to kind of soften the blow. Maybe that could be another indicator as well. But yeah, I'm definitely leaning bearish. I hope they beat. Yeah, I hope so too. But unfortunately, I can't lean bullish at this point, just based on what the charts are saying, based on them reporting in the morning on a Fed day, and then a conference call shortly after. Again, if they announce some kind of news, that could change everything. But yeah, if they beat, again, still questioning kind of how much upside we're really going to see when SPY's likely due for a pullback. Fed interest rate could pull us back as well. It's probably going to be short-lived if we do have a beat and we see upside. So yeah, just because of all of that, I have to lean bearish. But again, if we do see the weekly bear flag confirmed, I'll be buying. I'll definitely look to be buying again. Like I'll add probably 2 or 3 more times. I'll add closer again to 150, and then maybe one around 125, and then one closer to that 111 target. So I'll just be buying the dip, but that could be our bottom indicator there. And like I said, it's not looking good from a technical perspective, or neither really from a fundamental perspective either. It's going to be a couple months, at least 3 to 6 months in my opinion, before HHS comes back with a decision. Could even get legalization of medical into the new year in the US. So like I said, just be prepared for another few months, maybe 6 months of downside or sideways action from another leg down, and then potentially start a new bull market into 2024. But again, it's just that SPY wild card. I mean, everything's going at all-time highs, and MJ's at all-time lows and 52-week lows, and most names in the tech space and S&P 500 at 52-week highs and testing all-time highs. So it could be possible that MJ goes the other way and outperforms the broader market and goes against the grain, so to speak. But yeah, it's gonna be a wild card. But again, I did a video yesterday, or was it yesterday? 2 days ago. How would a market crash affect MJ stocks? And then I go over my opinion and game plan. So I won't be selling any of my MJ stocks. it was all money that I was just going to let sit for many, many years. That's what investing is. I don't get in and out of positions based on emotion or what have you. I haven't invested in an MJ stock that ever went bankrupt or insolvent or belly up. I've never had that happen. So, as long as they stand the test of time, they're here 3, 5, 10 years from now plus, we should be all right. Generational wealth, right? And I'm just going to continue to buy the dip, but check out that video if you want to see the full details on that and what I'll do and my opinion, my game plan. And nothing's guaranteed, right? But that's just how I'm doing it. Don't fall asleep on us. Keep it going. Yeah, it's been a super long day, and then it was like 30 degrees here the last couple days. So, but yeah, powering through it. And then tomorrow's going to be a big day as well. So I'll be definitely doing a live stream or a video on Tilray, and then I'll be on the conference call as well. So I'll give everybody an update on the review of the earnings and my thoughts and perspective, and then I'll be on the earnings call and I'll give everybody an update on that as well. And we should get the transcript as well, but sometimes they get pretty long, so hopefully do a quick video to summarize it all for you. How do you think Tilray will add Hexo into its company? With synergies do you predict? So they already had the strategic alliance, right, that they announced, and that was about a year ago. And then I said if they did acquire Hexo, I didn't think they would, but they did. And that's just because of how terrible the industry has been, and there's no end in sight of this bear market. No one could have predicted this, right? CGC under $1 at 38 cents. Who could have predicted that? There's even thoughts of people saying, some experts saying that Canopy's going to go under. I don't think so. I think they'll swim. I don't think they're going to sink. But even Canopy growth, right? The granddaddy of the industry, right? We used to be the number one company, an MJ stock. That is at risk of going insolvent and potentially bankrupt. And then we had Fire and Flower, Aleafia Health today. I did a video on that, going insolvent. There's probably going to be a ton more of insolvencies, bankruptcies, mergers and acquisitions, right? So I think we're probably realistically 3 to 6 months away from setting a bottom, and then it could be a couple year bull market after that, right? But we just have to take the good with the bad. And right now it's looking like a little bit more bad on the horizon. But yeah, in terms of synergies, they've already identified that. And then, they already were working together under that strategic alliance for a year. So it's probably going to be a little bit more, seamless and easy to incorporate Hexo into the Tilray brand family because of the fact that they had that strategic alliance for about a year, and they were already trading knowledge and expertise and sharing, different production things, like they were sharing pre-rolls and beverages, all that stuff, right? I can't wait to get an update on Trust and see how everything's going there, like Tilray's, because in the MD&A with Hexo, kept saying that they were reviewing the future of their investment with Trust, which is the Molson Coors joint venture. And then we know Tilray dropped the InBev right with Anheuser-Busch, so Budweiser. Maybe that was because they thought they were going to acquire Hexo and they wouldn't need it, and then they'd have Coors as their partner, right? Molson Coors. But I'd like to get an update on that and see what their plan is, see if they're going to, would they sell their stake in that? Like right now, Tilray's assets versus liabilities are not very good. Like their debt isn't very good either. They just did that 150 million raise as well. And then that was because of refinancing its debt and extending it out and whatnot. And they were saving that 400 million in cash. So you never know, if they get strapped for cash, they might have to do that, part ways, but we'll see. I'd like to get an update on that joint venture though with Trust and Molson Coors, now that Hexo's under the Tilray umbrella. But I think it'll be fairly seamless, integrating the two companies. So I think it's going to be a lot better than most, like especially the free one, because that just happened there was no strategic alliance. They didn't already kind of get that ball rolling, so to speak. So I don't think it's going to be that difficult for them to do. And I think there'll be a lot of synergies there. They've already identified, I think, what was it, like 80 million or something between the two of them. How much lower can MJ go? Well, like I said, just looking at the Tilray chart, if we confirm the weekly bear flag with a break of 150 support, that would the measured move from the high to the low, drag it out to the 0.382 fib. The measured move there in terms of technical analysis is saying $1.11. I think that could be a bottom for Tilray, maybe a dollar, a flush of $1. So, I mean, realistically, from where we are, that's another 34% of downside. If you look from the low that we already hit, that's about another 25% of downside. So, I think MJ could maybe dip 25, 35%, maybe even 50% from here before we absolutely are confident we have a bottom in. But again, at this point, we're down over 98%. Most names down over 90% from their all-time highs in February 2021 highs. So what's another, it's down 98%. What's another 25 or 50% from here? Like it's kind of not worth worrying over, in my opinion. It is what it is. It's down 98%. Who cares if we go down 99% or 99.5, 98, 99, 99.5, still all bad, right? So at this point, it's just about, managing your emotions and not selling the bottom where most people are, right? Most people are panic selling, and that's generally what the market is designed to do, right? People felt comfortable buying here because they felt good about the investment. Oh, this is great. Told you I'm a genius. And then we dropped 98% and said, oh, this isn't for me. Stock market's not for me. But this is where I'm doing the majority of my buying is down here, right? I definitely bought in too quickly on this pullback, but no one could have seen this coming, right? Not even the best of the best. So not even people in the industry, really. But JP Morgan and Wall Street, institutions, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, they probably all saw it coming because they probably caused it all. Just like they spoof gold and silver and get, fines for billions of dollars, and then they just get a slap in the wrist and keep going, right? Again, if you and I did that, we'd be put in jail for the rest of our lives. Would you please suggest SPY short share? Yeah, so it just depends on your broker. So you can just go on like your broker, and then you would basically just hit sell. Like, so if you don't own any shares of SPY, you just go on and you would hit sell, and then you would essentially short it. But you have to have, your broker might not be set up, like your account, depending on your account status, it might not have shorting available. So I would just encourage you to reach out to your broker and call them directly. Like if it's TD Ameritrade, RBC, whatever it is that you use, just reach out to them. They should be able to tell you how to do it, or if you need to get special authority or approval on your account to do that. Okay, thank you so much, brother. You're welcome, brother. No problem. ETF, MJ. Yeah, we can take a quick peek at that. I do want to keep it specific to Tilray, but MJ ETF is part of MJ, so yeah, it's a bear flag as well on the weekly time frame. Did I already draw that out? Whoops. Yeah, I already drew it out. I'll draw it again, though. Just going to ignore those drops there. So yeah, we're not even really, we're starting the weekly bounce now, but it's been weak so far. So anything under 434 is a weekly bear flag. And then if we confirm it with a break below 291, the measured move is about 185. And again, the fact that MJ ETF is showing that, HMMJ is a weekly bear flag as well. MSOS ETF, also a weekly bear flag. Yeah, it's not looking good. Not looking good at all. But more time to buy. That's what I'll be looking at. But yeah, anything under 867 is a weekly bear flag. So it's all pretty much all ETFs right now, not looking good whatsoever. We can take a look at MJ ETF on here. Yeah, seeing a bear cross of the stochastic. It's not looking good. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for all you do. Much love. No problem at all. Haha, you're right, Rod. They would throw away the key if it was me. You bet. All right, well, gonna wrap it up. Any other questions, let me know. I'll stay on for another couple of minutes. I think if there's anything else I can think of mentioning here at the moment. Don't think there's anything. Time to load up. Yeah, it's definitely been time. But yeah, we'll be watching CDAR for the earnings to come out. I'll keep an eye out throughout the night as well, but it'll more than likely be in the morning, probably around 7, between 6 and 8 a.m. Eastern time, and then at 8:30 is the conference call. Any interviews in the future? Not at the moment. I've been pretty busy lately. My parents were visiting, and I hurt my back. Definitely feeling a lot better now. My back's a lot better. But my parents were visiting from PEI and then Prince Edward Island. For those of you who don't know what PEI is, most people don't. But yeah, then I'm going to PEI as well into the end of August. So it's just been really busy. My Airbnb as well. I also got some really big news that I found out. Some personal news. Really, really big news, though, that I'll be sharing with everybody eventually. But probably going to be able to share that with you in the next, I would say, the next few weeks. But yeah, some big news, and looking forward to sharing that with everybody. But yeah, I'll keep an eye out on that. But with that being said, I think it's time to wrap it up. But yeah, in terms of interviews, I've been meaning to get an interview with Cannara Biotech CFO, Nicholas Sosiak. I've already interviewed him a couple times, but gonna try to get him back on for a third time now after the stock did a reverse split. And there hasn't been any priority for it because he was doing some conventions and things like that, some trade shows, and just the whole sector is still bearish. So there's not really that much to update on. Like I said, I've already done a couple of interviews with him, but I'm going to try and get an interview with Tilray at some point. I did interview Charlie Bowman and Julius Ivanitz, which was the CFO and CEO of Hexo Corp. So hopefully, maybe I can even reach out to them and they can maybe pull some strings, or point me in the right direction. But you never know. Maybe I can just reach out to Tilray, and they might, their investor relations might be able to help me out, and hopefully get that over the next couple of months. But that's definitely something I want to integrate more into the channel, is interviews. But one thing I noticed with MJ companies, they don't really like to do interviews when MJ's down. When MJ's in a bull market, it's like every time you turn around, they're on a podcast, or they're on some sort of media outlet doing interviews. But usually in a bear market, that's just for building, right? Bear markets for building, and then bull markets are for hyping, pretty much. Pawleys Island? No, it's Prince Edward Island, east coast of Canada, just across from Newfoundland. Good to hear you're feeling better. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rod. You rock. You rock as well. Appreciate it. Always appreciate the support as always. An interview with Tilray would be huge. Yeah. Hopefully we can make that. I'm confident we can make that happen at some point in the future. I mean, it's the best MJ community in all of MJ, so they'd be silly not to, right? But yeah, I'm here for the medicine of the future. I'm here for it. I'm here through the ups and the downs, the thick and the thins. I don't care if we're down 99%. I still think this industry is the best industry. I think it's the best medicine. I'm just a huge advocate for it. I was that person in the debate in English class that was pro MJ, right? When everybody would call you a dope head, a pothead, all that nonsense stigma that, and that's still today. It's still with us today, right? Baby boomers and all that stuff. And, it's going to change, right? People will embrace this medicine of the future, and it's, in my opinion, it's the best damn industry on the planet, bar none. But, I'm not like most YouTubers or most influencers that only come out whenever the going gets good, right? When the going gets bad, most people don't cover MJ because they don't want to look like an idiot, or they can't, I don't care about that. I know most people need a lot more support in the tough times, so that's why I continue to focus mostly on MJ, because that's what I'm passionate about. 80% of the content on this channel is MJ, then 15% is crypto, and then the rest is just a miscellaneous mixture of other things. But I want to do more product reviews and things like that as well. But product reviews kind of suck because the laws and regulations around Google and YouTube, they won't let me basically promote it, because maybe I'll use like Rumble or something like that, or for product reviews, and then because they age restrict my videos, and so people, if they aren't signed into YouTube, they can't watch them. If they're not 18 or above, they can't watch them. It doesn't get monetized. I don't really care about the money aspect from the video, because it wouldn't make that much more. You might get like $1 on a product review video, like 50 cents, 30 cents or something like that. So it's not about the money. It's about the reach and the time it takes me to do it, right? So I'd rather do content that people are going to actually appreciate and watch versus, 50 to 100 views or something like that. Again, money's great. If I end up making enough money to pay my mortgage or my rent or whatever that is, like most people, if they could just get enough to pay the rent or the mortgage, that'd be enough to make it worthwhile. But yeah, I don't do YouTube mostly for the money. It's mostly for just getting the word out, and I'm a retail investor and helping the retail investor, my fellow retail investors as well, right? And I enjoy doing it. It's fun. I enjoy helping people. I like teaching, and what better way to do it through live streams and dealing with you awesome folk. All right, but going to end it there. We're on 45 minutes. Didn't want to go over 45 minutes. We still got almost a couple dozen people with us, so thank you so much for joining the live stream today. If you could smash a like, share the video with anybody that you think would appreciate it, and if you think I earned it, like I said, if you could smash the like, I would appreciate that very much as well. But going to end it there, it's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. I'll be joining the live stream the conference call tomorrow. I'll be doing probably a live stream tomorrow. If not a live stream, I'll definitely get a video out with a review of the financials and the aftermath, and then I'll do an update on the conference call. Have a wonderful evening. See you on the next video.